Hi guys, my name is Silas. In this series, we're going to look at Amazon S3 comprehensively. So by the end of this series, you'll be able to understand Amazon S3 in full details. So my idea is for a complete beginner to be able to go from being a complete beginner to someone that can use Amazon S3 effectively. Thank you. Amazon S3 is simply an object storage. So by the definition of Amazon, is a popular object storage service known for its scalability, security, and performance. It offers a variety of features to store, manage, and access data for a range of use cases, such as data lakes, websites, mobile apps, and big data analytics. So what are the use cases of Amazon S3? So the first one is Amazon S3 can be used as a data lake in big data analytics. We can also use Amazon S3 to build static websites. Another one is for archiving objects as well as disaster recovery. Another one is for hybrid cloud storage, application hosting, and media hosting. So Amazon S3 is quite popular, and a lot of businesses around the world use Amazon S3 for different reasons. Some use it for data lakes, some use it as pure storage, some use it to build their static websites, some use it for different scenarios or different use cases that has to do with the business requirements. So some of these businesses around the world are Siemens. Siemens actually use S3 as their data lake, and this also helps them to collect about 6 terabytes of log data per day. Their security staff at Siemens can perform forensic analysis on years worth of data without compromising performance or availability of the Siemens security incident and event management solutions. So this is one of the use cases that Siemens use Amazon S3 for. Another business that use S3 is Ryanair. So Ryanair use S3 basically for backup storage, and the tier they use is the S3 Glacier and also the S3 Glacier Deep Archive for long-term storage. So let's look at S3 buckets. So what are actually buckets in S3? Buckets are just like directories, but are not really directories. So you know how we store files, which are objects on our local machine. So that is the concept of buckets. So buckets have objects, and objects are literally files in them. So let's look at some of the characteristics of Amazon S3 buckets. One, each bucket or every bucket must have a globally unique name across all regions and all accounts. So by this, it means that if you're creating a new bucket, the name has to be unique from any other bucket name. So it has to be unique. Naming convention must meet the following requirements. One, there should be no uppercase and no underscore. Another one is it needs to have 3 to 63 characters long. That's what it must have. It must not be an IP address. It must not start with a lowercase letter or a number, and also must not start with a suffix. For example, where you have S3 and say alias, no, it must not start with anything that has to do with S3. Another characteristics of S3 bucket is that S3 allows people to store objects, which are files, in buckets, which are like directories. Another one is S3 look like a global service, but in reality, S3 is not a global service. It's actually a region service. If you create an S3, it is created in a region. Let's say, for example, I'm in EU West 2, which is Amazon region for London. And if I create a bucket here, the bucket I create here is only created here. It's not a global service. Let's have this statement about this. Another characteristic is buckets are defined at regional level. So what are S3 objects? An S3 object is basically a file. So this could be a PDF file, a CSV file, a text file, a JSON file, or any type of file, even media files. And they could range from different sizes, but they have a limit. So let's look at the characteristics of an S3 object. S3 objects have a key. So by this, it means that a key is a full path of a file. For example, let's see that we have this S3 bucket and we have this file inside the S3 bucket called my_file.txt. So in this instance, the key of this S3 object is myfile.txt. So it is the full path, excluding the bucket name itself or the bucket. So let's see another example. Here, you can see that we have S3 bucket, and this S3 bucket is my-bucket/my_folder I/another_folder/my file. So the full key or the file path is from the my_folder. As you can see, it has a different color. So this is basically an object key. Another characteristic of an S3 object is that it has a maximum object size, which is 5 terabyte. And when it exceeds this object size, you cannot upload. So if you want to upload a file that has more than 5,000 gigabyte or 5 terabytes, you need to have a multi-part upload. Objects can have version ID if versioning is enabled. So there's a concept called versioning in S3, which is basically having a version of each file and it tracks it. So whenever the file changes, it will have a copy of the version. So it's more like a version control. So an object can have a version ID if versioning is enabled. So guys, in this hands-on, we're going to look at how to create a bucket, as well as look at how to upload an object to a bucket, and also how to access the object, and as well as how to delete an object from a bucket. So let's start. So first, we're going to create a bucket. So this bucket, we are going to call it Silas, just to be lowercase underscore demo. So when you look at the region, so the region is the region I'm in at the moment, which is London EU West 2. If you come here and have a look at this place, you would see that this is a global region that we are, but actually S3 is region specific and not global. Please take note, it's region specific and not global. So that means when you create this bucket will be in EU West 2, which is London. So for the object ownership, we're going to leave it as default, and we leave all the other things as default as well. Versioning, we leave it as disabled, and encryption, we leave it like this. Bucket key, we leave it as enable. So let's create a bucket. Okay, bucket name contains invalid characters. So this is what we explained before, that the bucket name must be unique and some characters are not allowed. So I'm going to use this instead. It might not allow me to create this as well. Let's see. The name has to be unique. Okay, well done. So let's look at the bucket that we've created. It's ready now. Let's click on the bucket. So let's upload the file. I'm going to go to add file. I'm going to add this file and I'll click on upload. So if I want to access this file, I'm going to click on here. So as we can see, we have properties, permissions, and versions. All this, we're going to visit them one by one afterwards. But for now, let's do the basic ones. So here, I'm going to click on open to view the file that we've uploaded. So this is the file that we've uploaded. So I can close this and come back here again and do something like download, and the file downloads. So I can leave it out as well. And also, if you notice, we have the URL of the file, and if I want to click on this to see if I can see the file, what do I get? I get an error that says access denied. So why is this? So this is because we cannot access this publicly. So this object cannot be publicly accessed. So if we open this here and then open this one again like we did before, if you look at the URL, this is the public URL, right? If you look at this one, this URL has a bit more to it. So this URL has my security details, my credential details. So that means I am the only one that has access to this object. Okay. So also let's go back and do one more thing. So we can go back to the bucket here and you can create a folder. You can call it S3 demo and click on create. Let's see if it's going to create. Yes. So this is a folder. I can create a folder inside this folder, just like we have on our systems, on our computers. You know, we could do that as well. I can upload a file to this folder, upload. I can also delete this file. So if I want to delete this file, just click on this file. So if I want to delete this file, I can come to the demo, go back a step further, and I will click on this and I will click on delete. And then for you to delete this, you need to type in permanently delete. I'll just copy this because I've done this many times before and paste it. To do this, I can just copy this from here and paste it here and then hit on delete and it's gone. So guys, thank you so much. Like and subscribe. This is the first video of the series. I'm gonna bring in more videos afterwards, and the next video should be around bucket policies and securities and so on. So there's a lot more we need to cover in S3. Thank you.